Steeped in history, the Faculty of Mathematics at the University of Waterloo in southwest Ontario is made up of 5 academic units and is home to the university's Department of Applied Mathematics.
The fact that it's an applied math department is actually quite rare because very few universities have a separate department in applied mathematics. Applied mathematics is used to tackle a lot of different problems that are, I think, of broad relevance to society, and it includes people developing new computational mathematical methods to solve a wide range of problems.
And as the potential application of applied mathematics is better understood, so it increasingly finds its place in the interdisciplinary work at the university.
The past 5 or 10 years, there's been a lot more involvement, particularly with biologists. So we've got people in fluid dynamics working with aquatic ecologists, people trying to understand cells, how they work, how they grow, how they function, and then faculty working with physicians, trying to understand a range of medical problems.
The department's work on stratified fluids and aquatic ecology provides vital information to both researchers and decision makers alike.
It's very hard to go in certain regions of the oceans because it's very expensive and hard on the experimental equipment. So mathematics lets us explore in regions where we might not be able to get to, or maybe we can only get to once or twice. So we have a new tool, whether it's through simulation or through satellites, that we can look at things we could not look at before. More and more these days, government policies need to be based on science, and mathematics is the sort of natural language to express scientific facts in a way that policymakers can then use.
Among the department's other projects is their ongoing work into the growth rates of bacteria.
Fundamentally, this kind of work tells us about not only how the microorganisms behave within ourselves, which of course has application in terms of medical treatment, treatment of virulent strains, but also industrially. We use a lot of these bacteria as workhorses, as bioreactors to make important biomolecules like insulin, things like this. So understanding how they grow also informs how they make these important molecules in our lives. The real cornerstone of this research is quantitative experimentation. But we need a scaffolding to hang this data on. And so it's mathematics that provides that infrastructure for us to not only synthesize the data that we have, but also it informs the experiments that we're going to do next.
When it comes to the development of mathematics and biomedical science, the department's research is world-leading.
Our interactions, and certainly the Centre for Mathematical Medicine at the Fields, was probably the first of a handful of sites worldwide sort of dedicated to this type of endeavour. Mathematical medicine and biology now form an essential component of many of the research and clinical endeavours that are going on. And on the other side, I think in a mathematical context, the field is really one of the central fields of modern applied mathematics. In a clinical context, we've had more and more interactions and more collaborations, and a lot more acceptance among physicians that mathematics has a crucial role to play in the biomedical sciences.
And these crucial roles are continued in the department's work into mathematical modelling and neuroscience.
Mathematical models are really useful in neuroscience because they can be used to study not only healthy brains, but diseased brains as well. They can be easily modified, so you can use them as test beds and try different things in the model before trying it out in the lab. In the future, there may be even more computational tools developed with the aid of mathematics. For instance, drug testing tools may be used the way that simulations of aircraft are used before engineers build aircraft. So in the future, you could test drugs ahead of time before you actually do human trials.
So from the micro to the macro, applied mathematics is at the heart of the research evolution of the 21st century.
It's quite an exciting time for applied mathematics. I think a lot of other disciplines have as they become more quantitative, they see the need for more mathematical modeling. So there's a greater need, I think, to train students in applied mathematics, and it's also opened up a lot of new career opportunities.
This kind of fundamental research goes beyond interdisciplinary collaborations, and you really need a multidisciplinary training. So that includes, analytic chemistry, some microbiology, but importantly, some kind of quantitative training in applied mathematics or physics in order to be able to make sense of the research as a whole.
It's a bit of a cliche now that mathematics in this century will be to biology what mathematics was to physics in the last century. But nevertheless, I feel that's absolutely clear. And the way things are progressing and the greater interactions that are being spawned really makes me believe that mathematicians who don't get involved in this field will just not be part of the great advances that are waiting around the corner.